In most cases, we think that we are going through the toughest times in life until we listen to others tell their story. He is called Omar. He lives in a far African village, but he says that a lot of people in this place do not call him by his real name Omar, because they always keep calling him a lot of different names according to the way he looks. They call him different and annoying names, but the most common one is Giturugunyu, a name in their local language that means something that is swollen, big, and ugly. His entire family is being affected by this disease, and they all do not know where it came from. And the moment we heard about Omar, we started a journey to the far village where he lives, so that we can get to know about his life and tell his story. Omar says that no one in his family had ever been affected by this illness before, and he says that he was the first victim of this terrible situation that he is undergoing. He was not at all born like this. His parents told him that they gave birth to a normal and beautiful baby, but things changed some years later. At 2 to 3 years old, Omar started getting headache and a muscle grew on his head. But at that moment, it was normal and they never took it to be a very big deal. But the little muscle grew and started becoming bigger each day. They tried taking him to the hospital. The doctors examined his body, but they also couldn't tell what it was. They kept on giving him painkillers and told his parents that he was supposed to undergo surgery. At an older age, he went to the hospital and they carried out surgery on him, but still changed nothing at all, because one side of his face continued falling and pouring like there was water, and since surgery also failed, they could not afford to take him to a much bigger hospital, so they took him back home, since there was nothing more they could do about it. With such facial deformity, there was completely no way that he could go to school, because other children would bully and tease him, and the pain he was going through was also another thing to worry about, so he stayed home. He grew up and turned into a man that was ready for marriage, but no girl even wanted to be friends with such a person, which means that every girl he ever got close to rejected him at first sight because of the way he looked, until he met Muajab. Muajab says that he met Omar with a lot of depression after being rejected by a lot of different women, so she decided to become friends with him, which later grew into a relationship, and before they knew it, they finally got married. She says that by the time Omar asked for her hand in marriage, he was poor and disabled. She knew that if she said no, there was actually no woman that would take Omar to be her husband, so she accepted and decided to spend the rest of her life with him. A lot of people from her family called her stupid and foolish to take such a man to be her husband, but she gave them a deaf ear and decided to stick to her decision. She later got pregnant and they were so happy because they were expecting their firstborn. She at least thought that they were going to have a normal baby, and she had hope that he would at least be fine. She gave birth to a baby boy, and upon looking at him, he was also disabled because the sides of his face were not balanced at all. His name is Saleh. He is the couple's firstborn. Well, he is also facing this problem, and he says that a few years ago, it was worse than this. He underwent a minor surgery that helped him a little, but the situation gets worse as he grows. He says that at school, children keep bullying and teasing him, which hurts a lot because they involve his entire family. They call him names, saying that he is a son of a monster, and this makes him so depressed. He decides to send a message to his schoolmates, and here he goes. Dear schoolmates, if you're watching Afrimax right now, I just want to let you know that the names you keep calling me at school are not good at all. They hurt me deeply because I'm not the one that made me or my family this way, because I believe there is a reason I look like this. Najab says she gave birth to her second born. His case was very bad and even worse than she had seen before, and they all thought that the baby was not going to live for a very long time. But surprisingly, he is still alive until today. But she never gave up on hope and wanted to give birth again so that they could also have a normal baby. She gave birth to other 2 children who are still very young too, and they have a lot of fear that they may also get affected by this disease someday. They try to understand what causes this, but still fail. And they also wish to take their normal children to the hospital so that maybe they can be treated before they also get affected. But unfortunately, they cannot afford it. Food is ever hard to get in this house because Omar cannot work or even do anything for his family. And it is his wife who has to take care of all of them. Well, she fetches water for people in jerry cans, which she carries for long distances just to get some money. She also digs gardens, washes people's clothes, and a lot more for money. And when she is done doing this, she comes back home and also cooks food for her family, which means that she is always working for very many hours each and every day. She says that life on her side is terrible because she works a lot and earns less. She has to feed her entire family without rest, and she also hopes that one day her life will become easier, and since it is the path that she chose, she never wants to give up on her family. Their oldest son may also drop out of school someday because he has spent a very long time without paying school fees at all, and they all have fear that he may be sent home one day for good. Yet he was the only one in this family that has ever been to school, and yet they expected him to become a better person in future. When Omar walks out, the kids in this society keep laughing at him. They shout so loud because they consider him to be a monster, and it is one of the reasons why he decided to stay at home each and every day so that he could avoid such. They both wish that their children could go to school one day, study, and also become better people. They wish to go to a hospital to find out if what they are going through can be treated, because until today, they cannot tell what it is or where it comes from. The funds that will help this family will be donated via GoFundMe, a link that is always put in the description of each and every video and pinned in the topmost comment by Afrimax English.